The next topic in this one here, again, we could probably go forever on this one, but not just in Sault Ste. Marie, but when it comes to, again, our dear old COVID, when it comes to high school and collegiate sports and being canceled. And prime example we'll use, because we're in Sault Ste. Marie, and I'll use a kid I know is Ryan Barnes from Cora, and I know the family well, but this year was his year to hopefully get some exposure, and we understand why it was canceled. But when it comes to high school sports, that's, again, with the mental health and everything. Talk a little bit about your thoughts on that.
Yeah, Ryan, I mean, if we're going to use Ryan as a specific example, I've had the privilege of watching Ryan develop since he was, since he started playing football in Sioux Minor. I've seen him go from an unbelievable defensive tackle. I've seen him play O-line. I've seen him play running back. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that he'd end up being a quarterback. But he's amazing. So, he's a really good quarterback, and he's a good player, and he's, comes from a good family. So it's unfortunate for kids like that, because you're right. He was playing last year behind, arguably one of the best quarterbacks to ever come out of Sault Ste. Marie, and Jordan Robinson-Wright. So he had no chance to get out and play and show off his skills. Now with, this was his coming out party. This was going to be the Brian Barnes coming out party. And I was really excited to watch it. Actually, I was excited to see what he could do. Right. He had a lot of people to, he had a lot of people that he wanted to show that he could do this. And now he doesn't get that chance. Right. So I'm curious to see what happens with a player like that, but I really do feel bad for kids in that situation.
And then that's where we talked about when it comes to the NCAA, a little bit different when it comes to the college and the NCAA, and again, an extra year. High school kids can take an extra year now because they call it, again, just they call it the one extra year, now victory lap, or whatever, to do that fifth year. Again, some exposure, sometimes credits, and to get their averages up. So you can have that extra year there, but at the same time, and it's not just football in this city or in the province, there's also soccer, hockey. There's so many other sports that these kids, again, education's first in high school, but at the same time, I've always said to my kids, if you can get sports along with your education, that's huge. And again, it's something couldn't imagine being a recruiter right now for anything because of what's happening.
It's also a money issue too, right? I mean, these kids want to go to school, they want to learn, but I mean, how expensive university is nowadays. So a kid like Barnes, who, again, I'm going to keep using him as the example just because we mentioned him earlier, but a kid like him, there's not a doubt in my mind that he could make a team, in CIS. So will he get that chance? Will he get that same offer that he could have gotten? Right. So it's really hard, right? Going away to university can be expensive, and, a $5,000 offer is pretty nice. Will those kids get that opportunity now, not being able to go play in bowl games, not being able to go to Toronto, with no SaberCat season, no, things like that, those opportunities are going to be less and less.
And then that's exactly it. And with Sioux Sports, I do a lot of work with Algoma University, and you did some with us this year at Algoma. And when it comes to Collegiate, I was talking to their coaches the other day, their soccer women's coach, Neil Ovey, and Etienne Jacquette, the men's basketball coach, and Ryan Veitcher, the women's basketball coach. They're one of the only schools in the OUA that their student athletes are actually still coming and practicing. So It's something, it's very rare, but again, it shows how much interest they have. But even at the OUA level, the potential's still there. You might not end up making the NBA, but there's still, for basketball, you can go overseas. Soccer, you can go overseas. So when it comes to collegiate, there are still opportunities, but again, it's even throwing like I say, a big stopping when it comes to the OUA, right?
A wrench in that. No, absolutely. So I mean, the whole thing is frustrating to me. The whole thing is bothering me, and I really do feel bad for these kids. I mean, it is what it is right now, and that's what we keep saying. But we're gonna have to just wait and see. I mean, my only hope for a kid like for Ryan and for these, what's the other big one is soccer up here, right? I mean, a few kids get soccer scholarships. A lot of girls, a lot of young ladies get hockey scholarships to the States, those types of things. And who knows if that's going to happen now, right? I just hope they get every opportunity possible to get that, because it's not their fault. It's not the kids' fault, and they need to do that.
And that's